Thank you for reading Dangerous Contract. My name is Orazio Cattaneo. Since you've read Dangerous Contract, you know the story of how I met my Rosa. Well, today is the day I do something I never thought I'd do until I met the woman of my dreams, Monique Rose. Our love story isn't over yet. In fact, our journey is just beginning. The title of this chapter in our love story is Message in a Bottle. Enjoy this audio chapter. The morning air was crisp, carrying the salty scent of the Gulf of Mexico as waves rolled lazily onto the shore. The beach house behind them stood tall and quiet, the only witness to what Orazio was about to do. Monique walked beside him, barefoot in the sand, her curls slightly damp from the shower she'd taken before he'd lured her outside with the promise of fresh air and a morning stroll. His woman loved the beach. He could have just said, "Let's go stare at the water," and she would have been willing to come out for a stroll. She was stunning in the white dress she'd chosen to put on. A dress from her boutique, Curve Couture. Raz knew that soon she'd be asking him to take pictures of her by the water to post on the store's blog. He was always ready to play cameraman for his woman. The fabric clung to her curves as the breeze kissed her skin. Damn, he was blessed. Raz looked away from her before he did something crazy, like pick her sexy ass up and carry her back to his house to put his tongue inside her. That would come later. There was something else he needed to do first. She didn't know what today was. Not yet. He'd wanted it to be a surprise for her. That's why he hadn't told his brothers or Leo. If he'd told them, her friends Mika and Toya would have found out. And then Monique would have found out, and that would have ruined the surprise. He walked slightly ahead, scanning the sand, heart racing. He'd come out here while she was in the shower to make sure everything was perfect. Yet he didn't see what he was looking for. Where is it? For the first time in a long time, Orazio Cattaneo was nervous. He couldn't fuck this up. He had to make sure this was perfect for her. There it is. He spotted what he was looking for. A smile crept across his face, and his panic lessened. It didn't go away completely, but at least he could breathe now. He slowed his steps, falling in line with his woman. His gaze moved to her as they walked. His Rosa tipped her head back, letting the breeze play with her curls, causing them to dance around her face. "It's beautiful out here," she murmured, digging her toes into the wet sand. Raz smiled. "Yeah, it is." She turned to look at him, catching the way his gaze lingered on her. A knowing smirk curved her lips. "You're not even looking at the water." "I see something better." She rolled her eyes, but the soft blush on her cheeks told him she liked the compliment. He reached for her hand, threading his fingers through hers as they continued their slow stroll along the shore. They were nearing their destination. Soon, she'd see it. He kept glancing her way, waiting for her to spot the glass bottle, half buried in the sand, its cork slightly tilted like it had washed ashore. A wave pushed against the shore, moving the bottle just a little. For a second, he nearly raced forward to get it, thinking the water was going to wash it away. Luckily, its movement caught his Rosa's attention. Monique stopped, her brows furrowing as she pointed at it. "Oh, look, Raz." "Look at what?" he asked, pretending he had no idea what she was referring to. "Look," she said again, smiling as she let go of his hand and moved toward the item, bending to pick it up. Her fingers dusted the sand off the glass, revealing the rolled-up paper inside. "It's a message in a bottle. Oh my gosh," she exclaimed. "I really found a message in a bottle. I thought that only happened in movies." His Rosa giggled, and his heart melted. Raz found himself falling in love with her all over again. Raz watched as she pulled out the cork and slid the note free, her excitement clear in the way her breath hitched. "What do you think is written on it?" she asked. "Read it," he encouraged, voice calm despite the nervousness flowing over him. She unfolded the paper and began reading. He saw the exact moment the words hit her. Her lips parted. Her brows lifted. Her fingers trembled slightly as she gripped the note tighter. He already knew what the note said since he was the one who'd written it and placed it in the bottle. To my Rose, you are my peace in a world of chaos, my light in the darkness, my reason for wanting more, my reason for wanting to be a better man, the type of man you deserve. Loving you has been the greatest honor of my life, and I want to keep doing it. Every day, every night, for the rest of our lives. Turn around. Monique gasped, her head snapping up. She turned slowly, and her breath caught in her throat. Raz was already down on one knee. He could blame the morning sun that was shining down on him for the tears shining in his eyes. But it wasn't the sun's fault that he was overflowing with emotions. It was the woman before him, the woman he loved more than he loved himself. Hands trembling, he pulled a small velvet box from his pocket and flipped it open, revealing a diamond ring that shimmered in the sunlight. Monique Rose, he said, his voice deep, filled with love. From the moment I saw you, I knew you were mine. Even when you fought me on it, even when you tried to walk away, I knew I wasn't ever letting you go. I even tried once to leave in order to protect you. I nearly died without you by my side. I can't do it. I can't exist without my Rose. She let out a shaky breath, her eyes shimmering with unshed tears. You're everything I never knew I needed, everything I never thought I could have. And I want to spend forever proving to you that I deserve you, that I deserve your love, that I deserve the trust you've placed in me. He exhaled slowly, his fingers tightening around the box. Will you marry me, Monique Rose? Monique blinked back tears, her lips parting, but no words came out. Her chest rose and fell rapidly as she stared down at him. The longer she hesitated, the more nervous he grew. Should I have gotten a bigger ring? She chuckled. No, silly. If it's not the ring size that's keeping silent, is it the man holding the ring? No, she said, wiping her eyes. Then what is it, baby? I'm so happy. Tears raced down her cheeks. Raz felt a few tears creep down his cheeks also. Put me out of my misery, love. Tell me you'll be my wife. Monique wiped her eyes. Yes, she whispered, her voice breaking. Then louder, with more certainty. Yes, Orazio, I, Monique Rose, would be happy to be your wife. A grin spread across his face as he slid the ring onto her finger. Before he could stand, she tackled him, knocking them both into the sand, her laughter mixing with his deep chuckle. Fuck. He loved this woman. And she'd said yes. He'd never been this damn happy in his life. For a second, he'd thought he'd have to kidnap her to get her to the chapel. You really thought I was going to say no? She teased, straddling his waist, staring down at him with so much love it made his throat tight. No, he admitted, brushing a curl from her face. I knew you were mine. Just wanted to make it official. Monique tilted her hand, admiring the ring. Well, it's official now. Yes, Ms. Rose, it is. He cupped the back of her neck and pulled her down for a deep, slow kiss. When they finally pulled apart, he murmured against her lips, I love you, future Mrs. Cattaneo. She smiled. I love you too, my Dawn. The waves crashed behind them, the sun rising higher, but all Raz cared about was the woman in his arms. His woman, his fiancée, his future wife, his forever, the end. Thank you for listening to Message in a Bottle. I hope you enjoyed my proposal. The Dawn's wedding is coming to YouTube soon, so subscribe to this channel to get an alert when it does. Like this video if you think I handled this proposal well. See you at the next Cattaneo wedding.